are familiar with it, it will be difficult to understand the point I'm making. That I'm trying to solve the problems of Western philosophy by using the tools of Indian philosophers. I can see Prabir Das has joined, Niti Singh has joined. So, can you hear me, all of you?
Well and
Yes,
loud,
sir.
sir.
We can hear, sir. Good
Yes,
morning.
well and loud.
And Lakshmi, Raj Lakshmi Tiwari has also joined. Raj Lakshmi Tiwari is,
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
yes, you are from
I'm from BHU.
Yes.
Sir,
BHU. Yes, I
she is
remember.
my research scholar, sir. She has attended your workshop.
Yes, I
Yes,
remember
sir.
you. Yes, I remember you. In any case, so lot of people have joined. And what about Tirna and Shubham?
I've informed them. I WhatsApp Shubham also separately, so he might join. Let us see and whether he can or
Okay,
he.
okay. Now, it is in my book, page 306 and 7. I have summarized in 307 that the relation between an expression and the object referred to by that expression. X or Y. X stands for expression and Y stands for the object referred to it by that expression. First of all, I have divided into Sanketa and Lakshana. Sanketa has been divided into Shakti and Paribhasha. Shakti, I mean, like the word cow, that it refers to particular cows, but we do not know when it started. And Paribhasha means intention of the speaker. At a particular time, the speaker wants to refer to John by the word John. Similarly, in science also and in grammar also, author can introduce new paribhasha. But all of them depend on the intention of the speaker. Either you know it or you do not know. If you do not know, then it is called Shakti, and if you know its origin, then it is called Paribhasha. Now, I introduced the word cow. The word cow refers to cow individuals as well as cowness and akriti of the cow. So three things are involved in the Prachin Naya, in the old Naya. Okay? And here, new point is that akriti, what does it mean? Akriti is the relation between the parts of the cows. Now, I have pointed out, let us say you have a cow A and B. A has parts. Let us consider the cows A and B. The cow A has parts such as a tail, a head, 4 legs, and a body, which are related in a particular way. Similarly, the cow B has the same type of parts which are related in the same way. Symbolically, I have represented let us say cow A, or how parts are related. A1, A2, A3, A4. They are related in a certain way. Similarly, in cow B, those parts are related in a certain way. And by parts, I mean, let us suppose a tail, a head, 4 legs, and a body. Now, the word configuration of cow individuals, Akriti, I am translating as configuration of cow individuals. We should not mean the conjunction of 1 and 2, but the generic features of 1 and 2, which can be represented in the following way. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, where alpha, beta, gamma represent the types of parts of different cow individuals. Type, not particulars, but the type. But the Naiyāyika has raised several objections against this view, which includes configuration of particulars within the meaning complex of the expression. So according to old Naiyāyika, the word cow refers to a set of entities which are denoted by the word cow. What are those entities? Cow individuals and Akriti and cowness. Now we are talking about, from Naiyāyika point of view, first of all, this view cannot give a similar account of the meanings of expressions for qualities, actions, and other properties. It cannot give a similar type of theory about qualities, actions, and other properties. Let us consider the meaning of the word brown. The meaning complex of this expression includes only the particular brown colors and the universal brownness. Since a color does not have a configuration, akriti, the question whether it is a member of the meaning complex does not arise. So, in the case of color, it does not arise. Similarly, in the case of all other qualities, similarly, in the case of actions and other properties. Because the question of akriti does not arise. Secondly, even in the case of substance referring expression, it is not necessary to include the configuration within the meaning complex of it. Similarly, in the case of substance referring expressions like cow, so I am pointing out several criticisms from the point of view of the Naiyāyika. What we need, in addition to the set of particular objects to which a word applies, is a limiter, avachedaka. Which will determine the reference uniquely. Avachedaka determines the referent uniquely. And I have discussed the concept of avachedaka. I have given a formal definition of avachedaka as well as the expression determined by, nirupita, nirupo nirupak sambandha. I have explained these two concepts are very important for understanding Navya. The followers of Navya claim that with respect to the word cow, the universal cowness is sufficient to determine the set of particular cows. Since cowness is present in cows only, it will determine the set of cows uniquely. Hence, we do not need the configuration of particular cows in addition to the universal cowness to determine the reference of the term cow. So Navya claims what you need is cowness, not akriti. Thirdly, it cannot be said that the configuration should be included in the meaning complex of an expression instead of class character, jati. Now, two things are involved, configuration and class character. You cannot say that configuration should be included instead of class character. Since a class character is an atomic property and a configuration is a molecular property, on the ground of simplicity, the class character should be retained in the meaning complex of an expression. Naya always refers to simplicity. So, on the ground of simplicity, which one is to be preferred? Class character, not akriti. Because akriti is a molecular property and class character is an atomic property. Moreover, according to Jagadisha, a Navya philosopher, the term akriti, he gives a new interpretation to the term akriti. Mentioned in the Nyaya Sutra should not be interpreted as the form or configuration of an object. He claimed that the word akriti taken in the etymological sense means that which determines the form of an object. Hence, it is to be taken as the relation between the class character and the individuals, which are instances of the class character. So he gave a new interpretation to akriti. Akriti means that which determines. So it is the relation between class character, cowness, and the particular individuals. And what is that relation in the Nyaya philosophy? This relation is inherence. So the word cow means cow individuals, inherent relation, and cowness. This is the view of Jagadisha, a Navya philosopher. The first member of this meaning complex is the Shokko. Shokko means the referent or the reference of an expression. So it is called Shokko in the Nyaya philosophy. The referents are called Shokko. And the third member is Shokkata avachedaka. The limiter of the property of being the referent of an expression. The limiter. Shokkata avachedaka. In order to explain these terms, we should draw the distinction among the term shokko, which stands for the referent or the reference of the expression, shokkota, which signifies the property of being the referent, which resides in the referent, avachedaka, which means the limiter that determines the referent or set of referents, and shokkota and avachedakata, which signifies the property of being the limiter, which resides in the limiter. So you got 4 terms: shokko, shokkota, avachedaka, avachedakata. Is it clear to everybody?
স্যার এই জায়গাটা যাওয়ার আগে আগের পোর্শনে একটা দুটো কোশ্চেন ছিল, ছোট সিম্পল কোশ্চেন। ইজ ইট
Sure, you can ask the question.
It's about the first objection that regarding Nabbanaya objection regarding accepting Akriti is that actions cannot be described in this way. Karma cannot be described. So gunas and karmas, but action.
Gunas, karma, they do not have akriti.
But karmas has a
So,
structure, beginning and means. So what do they mean?
no, shokko, their reference are shokko, brown color. For example, brown particular colors are brown. So brown refers to particular brown colors, and brownness is the avachedaka.
Yes, sir. That example is clear, but
That's right.
In case of action, how the same objection applies? What does it action means in this case, and how does it apply?
Action means throwing upwards, downwards, and all these actions.
So
So
they have a structure or some kind of so parts and generic parts.
actions, set of actions, any action, any movement is called action. Okay? And all the movements have their own type of movements, have their own avachedaka.
Okay. And the second question is, sir, that regarding that the class character is an atomic property and configuration is a molecular property. You discussed this in the beginning, that language portion. So
That's
how
right.
how does it become
Now,
a molecular property?
now molecular property, what is akriti of the cow? Type of tail, type of body, type of head, type of legs, how they are related. And that one is a molecular property, not atomic. But cowness is an atomic property. Cowness cannot be divided into parts. But this akriti, you have 4 in the case of, suppose, 4 parts. Sometimes you can have 10 parts. Sometimes you can have 20 parts. And so many parts are there. So type of parts are involved. So parts, type of parts, and the relation between those parts. So it is a molecular property. Good. You can ask questions as we proceed, because it is like mathematics. If you do not understand the beginner, then you cannot understand the advanced level. So everything should be crystal clear. Nyaya philosophy is crystal clear. It is like mathematics. So you have to understand every word of it. And I try to interpret in English without any Sanskrit terms. And Sanskrit terms I have used, but I have translated. And I have shown the relation to the Western philosophy. And then I will come to the conclusion how to solve their problems. So the word cow means cow individuals, inherence relation, and cowness. This is Jagadisha. The first member, as I pointed out, Shokko, Shokkota, Avachhedak, Avachhedakata. Avachhedak is something which determines the referent. And in Frege's language, I have said Avachhedaka is the mode of presentation of the object and it belongs to the object. Frege has used 6 senses of the word sense. So I have picked up 2 of his remarks. One is a mode of presentation and another, in the case of Avachhedaka, it belongs to the referent. Cowness belongs to all cows. Similarly, brownness belongs to all brown objects. Now, Shokkota. Shokko is the referent. And Shokkota, what does it mean? It is my innovation and substantiated by Panditji. Shokkota means the role that object is playing in this context. Is it clear to everybody? Same object may play different roles in different contexts. And how to signify it? By the word ta. T-A, ta. So here, cow, individual cows are the referents. So individual cows are Shokko. Then they are playing the role of referent in this context. In other context, the same object can play different roles. Is it clear to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shokkota.
স্যার একটা এক্সাম্পল দেবেন স্যার এটার একটা এক্সাম্পল
Yes, example is Shokko, here Shokkota. Then you have the same object can play the role of different roles in different contexts. For example, qualificant. Qualificant. Qualificant, qualifier. At epistemic level, the same object is the qualificant. When I cognize this cow is brown, then in my cognition, the cow referred to plays the role of qualificant.
Sir, here
And
it
when
is
I
Vishesha
say
Visheshad right now. Qualificant and qualifier means Visheshad and Visheshya. Vishesha Visheshad Sambandha. Right, sir?
yes, Vishesha Visheshana. Vishesha, it is playing the role of Visheshana. Vishesha. But if I say this house has a cow, this house becomes the qualificant, Vishesha, and Visheshana becomes the cow. So it has Visheshanata, Visheshata. In different context, it has Vishesha, it is playing the role of Vishesha, and in another context, it is playing the role of Visheshana. So it has Visheshanata. Is it clear to everybody? And
Yes, sir.
Nyaya is a holistic system. You have to, I have another paper called Subject Predicate and Related Pairs. I have mentioned 6 pairs. Vishesha Visheshana is one of them. Anujogi Pratijogi is another. Then Vishesha Prakara is another, and so on. So you have to understand those things also. In different contexts, the same thing plays different roles. So we use the word ta, ta. Now, how they are related? One is that avachedaka determines the referent. Avachedaka is like the mode of presentation. Who is Aristotle? The mode of presentation is the teacher of Alexander the Great. Who is Scott? The author of Waverley. Who is Rabindranath Tagore? The author of Gitanjali. And avachedaka is something which determines the referent. I will give a formal definition in the next page. And Shakkata is the role it plays, the objects play, the Shakka plays in this context. Shakkata. And avachedakata, the role avachedaka plays in this context. Is it clear to everybody? Okay. Since they are playing the roles of reference in this context, the Nyaya has postulated an abstract property to characterize this role, which is expressed by the word Shakkata. So the role it plays, it is not explained properly in the Nyaya literature, but this is how it should be understood. So you have to study with some Pandits who are well versed in this tradition, but very difficult to get Pandits, very difficult. Nowadays, almost the West Bengal is empty. And my guru, Pandit Vishwabandhu Tarkatirtha, he came from Bangladesh. And his guru also came from Bangladesh. And he came in 1930. There was no electricity. So he studied in the morning, and in the evening he discussed with his guru. And they lived in a situation which cannot be thought. Now that tradition has gone. In Varanasi, there was a scholar, Badrinath Shukla. I have not met him, but I visited Varanasi long time ago, 50 years ago, some 50 years ago, and he was a living legend there, Badrinath Shukla. Whether he has produced any disciples or not, I do not know. Now, how Shokkata and Avachedakata are related? Avachedakata and Shokkata Nirupo Nirupak Bhavapanno Vishayata. Nirupo Nirupok, mutual determination, like East and West. So I have given here the formal definition of the relation limited by and the relation determined by. Here, formal definition. You have to remember that one. X is limited by Y. If and only if three conditions are mentioned. X and Y are properties. X and Y are properties. X is the relational property, and number C, third condition, the property Y is a mode of presentation of the object where the relational property X resides. So cowness is the avachedaka. And where it resides? In cows. Shokko refers to the cow individuals, and Shokkota is a relational property. I call it a relational property. The role it plays in this context. So it is a mode of presentation of the object where the relational property Shokkota resides, and it belongs to them. So I have pointed out X and Y are properties. X is limited by Y. X is the reference of the word cow, and Y is cowness, avachedaka. So there X Shakkota is a relational property, and Y is the avachedaka, cowness. That is also a property. So both of them are properties. But X is a relational property. Further, I have mentioned that X is a relational property, Shakkota. And the property Y is a mode of presentation of the object where the relational property X resides. Shakkota belongs to Shakko. So, X resides in the individual cows, which are playing the role of Shakkota in this context. Is it clear to everybody? This is, I am not claiming that this is the only use of the word avachedaka, but this is a predominant use of the word avachedaka in Nabbonaya. Predominant use. And then determined by X is determined by Y. Shakkota is determined by avachedakata. How they are related? Nirupo nirupak bhavapanna vishayata.
Sir,
Nirupo nirupak means that they are correlatives, like east and west. X is determined by Y, Y is also determined by X. So,
Sir, Tirna has a question.
yes,
Tirna has a question.
Tirna,
yes, sir.
you mentioned your question.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Sir, can you
Yes.
hear me? Okay,
Huh?
okay. Sir,
Yes, I can hear you.
okay, sir. Okay, sir. So my question is, sir, then in this case, shakyata bachchedako is cowness is shakyata bachchedako then in this case?
No, cowness is shakkata avachedaka. It is
In this case, yeah.
cowness is avachedaka.
Yes.
It is playing the role of avachedaka in this context. That is why
Yes.
it is called, it has a property called avachedakata. That the role it is playing in this context. The word
Yes.
ta signifies the role it is playing in this context. It is playing the role of avachedaka in this context. That is why cowness has the property avachedakata. Ta.
Yes, sir. Yes. And since cow is shakko in this case, then can we consider cowness shakyata bachchedako then in this case?
Now, avachedaka determines, avachedaka is like a mode of presentation, and it belongs to the referent. So, cowness is the avachedaka. Hence, it has the property avachedakata. It is playing the role of avachedaka in this context.
Okay, sir.
But it can play different roles in different contexts. For example, when you give the example of jati, you call cowness. In that context, it is not playing the role of avachedaka. It is an example of jati. So, Nobbonaya specifies the role of the object in a particular context. And I pointed out that the same object can play different roles in different contexts. And with respect to Subhashis's question, I pointed out Vishesha Visheshana. The same object playing the role of Vishesha in one context, in another context, Visheshana. So it has Visheshata, in another context, Visheshanata. Similarly, it can play different roles in different contexts. In one context, it can play the role of Anujogi. In another context, it can play the role of Pratijogi. So it has property Anujogita, Pratijogita, like Visheshata, Visheshanata. Now, determined by Nirupa Nirupak Sambandha. I have translated as determined by. So X is determined by Y if and only if IFF means equivalence. Both X and Y are relational properties of correlatives. They are correlatives and relational properties. Both of them, Shakkata and Avachedakata, are correlatives. That means if there is Shakkata, then there will be Avachedakata. If there is Avachedakata, then there will be Shakkata. Like East and West. In this way, they are related to each other. Have I answered your question, Tirna?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, good. And these two definitions, X is limited by Y and X is determined by Y, you have to remember, because I have used in different places. In this context, it is to be noted that the term limiter has been used in various senses in the Nyaya literature. This is one of them, and predominant use in Nobbonaya. But in the context of the meaning of the term limiter closely corresponds to Frege's use of the term sense, or at least some of the uses of the term sense. That is why I have introduced 6 senses of sense in Frege, so that Western philosophers can understand the Nobbonaya literature. Because they say we do not understand Indian philosophy. So I have interpreted in their terms so that they can understand. And then solving problems which are present in Western philosophy. All right.
Yes, sir.
Now I am introducing now new topic. So in Frege's language, Avachedaka will be a mode of presentation of the object and it belongs to the object. So avachedaka is a mode of presentation of the object. It picks out the objects. Gotto, cowness, will pick out the objects, individual cows, and it belongs to them. So the limiter is a mode of presentation which uniquely determines the referent or the reference of a term. This use of the term limiter is predominant in the later development of the Nyaya philosophy. Now I am introducing something else. In this context, I would like to mention that the third member of the meaning complex is considered as the reason or the ground for applying a term to an object or objects to which it applies. In the technical language of the Nyaya, this feature of the third member is expressed by the term pravritti nimitta. Later, Naiyāyika have used the word pravritti nimitta. For cowness. Cowness is the avachedaka. And it is part of the meaning complex of the word cow. And they have introduced a new term, and I have tried to explain it, pravritti nimitta. What is pravritti nimitta? The reason or the ground for applying a term to the object or objects to which it applies. What is the ground for applying the term cow to individual cows? You got the point, all of you? What is the ground for applying the term cow to particular cows? Because they have cowness.
Sorry, sir. Yeah. এখানে ground,
Yes.
what does ground means here? Is, say, so for example, the word fever or neoplasia, this kind of medical term is used to in the purpose of diagnosis.
For example, Kripke's example, gold has the atomic number 79. What is the ground for applying the term gold to gold? Because it has atomic number 79. That becomes pravritti nimitta. Because the metals which have atomic number 79 are called gold.
On that basis, so something like essential feature or
this is the point that Raghunatha claims that it is not an essential feature. And others claim there are three views in Nobbunaya. Good question, indeed, that essential features or not. Now, I am giving the definition of Vardhamana Upadhyaya. According to Vardhamana Upadhyaya, the definition of pravritti nimitta of a term can be stated in the following way. pravitti nimitta of a term. X is the pravitti nimitta of the term Y if and only if three conditions are mentioned. X is a part of the meaning complex of the term Y. X is a part of the meaning complex. For example, in the case of cow, cowness is a part of the meaning complex. Individual cows, cowness, and the relation of cowness to cows is the relation of inherence. So, the meaning complex of the term cow includes three things. One is particular cows, another is cowness, and third condition is the relation. Now, cowness is a part of the meaning complex of the term Y, of the term cow. X is pravitti nimitta. Okay? It is a formal definition. You can substitute with examples like cow, cowness. And before that, you mention the meaning complex of the word cow. There are three things in the meaning complex of the word cow: particular cows, cowness, and the relation of cowness to particular cows, which is inherent in the Naya literature. Now we are talking about the role of cowness. It is called pravitti nimitta. And Vardhamana has mentioned three conditions. So it is part of the meaning complex. X qualifies the referent or the reference of the term Y. It is part of the meaning complex and it qualifies the reference of Y. Cowness is part of the meaning complex. Cowness belongs to the referent. Okay? Third one, X appears as the qualifier when you remember the referent or reference of Y. Epistemic condition. When you remember the word cow, then cowness appears as the qualifier. Epistemic condition. The
Why
first
the
one
third
is
one?
linguistic condition. The second one is ontological condition. And the third one is epistemic condition. That is the formal definition of Vardhamana Upadhyaya. And I have mentioned here reference 56. You can look up the reference.
Sir, why
Is
the
it clear
third?
to? Huh?
Why the third one is an epistemic condition? That memory is
Epistemic condition that when you remember cows, then cowness appears as something belonging to cow. X appears as the qualifier when you remember the reference or the reference of Y. Reference or the reference of cow when you think of or remember, then cowness appears as its qualifier. Is it clear to everybody?
Yes, sir.
this formal definition of
Yes.
Vardhamana Upadhyay. It is to be noted that this definition of the term pravritti nimitta emphasizes both the epistemic and the semantic nature of it. At semantic level, it is something which belongs to or qualifies the referent or the referents of a term. I have used the word semantic and epistemic level. At the level of thought, it is a qualifier of a qualificant which corresponds to the referent or the referents of the term. To use Phrygian terminology, it belongs to the object and it is a mode of presentation of the object. And when I think of the object, it appears as a qualifier. So three things have been mentioned. That is Vardhamana Upadhyay. But this definition of Vardhamana Upadhyay has not been accepted by some followers of the Nabbunaya. The definition of Gadadhara is a famous Pandit, Nabbunaya philosopher. And for your kind information, my Guruji did not get any opportunity to teach Gadadhara to his disciples, especially the book, some of the books of Gadadhara. Gadadhara wrote 54 Badagandha. And Utpatti Bada is a very difficult text. Some sentences are 7-8 lines, and they know only how to break it. But he never got any opportunity to teach Nabbunaya, especially Gadadhara, especially the book Utpatti Bada. So it is lost forever. He knew only. So in each generation, things are missing, lost, because they do not have disciple. And I will congratulate you for reading Nabbunaya, and you are, each one of you is 1 in 10 millions, not 1 in a million, but 1 in 10 millions. So this is how I would like to congratulate you.
Thank you, sir.
That you are reading something very difficult, which people do not read. Philosophy, hardly anybody reads, and Indian philosophy, hardly anybody touches, and no one reads Nabbunaya. It is so difficult.
Sir,
So I congratulate you as 1 in 10 millions.
Sir,
One
Avinash ji, a question, and time is also coming. So Avinash ji,
Okay. So this one,
I do
Gadadhara,
not have any, sir, I do not have any question, but one thing I remembered, because it was Gangesh Upadhyay who has propounded the Avachedakta, and he has very categorically said when his wife came with a pot of smoke and press before it when it opened, and then what happened? The smoke spread, and she said, "Yatra." He said, "Yatra yatra bahini, yatra yatra dhumah, tatra tatra bahini." Her wife asked, "Yatra dhumah, kutra bahini?" And then he explained it in a different way, and he said, "Mula vachchedena, yatra dhumah tatra bahini." And in that way, that he explained. And thereafter, what happened? My guru, Dr. Hari Mohan Jha said, we can say this contrary sentences at the same time. Dikshe kapi, vrikshe na kapi. Moolavachchedena, vrikshe na kapi.
That is
Shakhavachchedena,
true. That
vrikshe
is
kapi.
true.
So when I was
That is
listening
true.
to you, I remember, because these are the conditions. This is the way of expression. When you said, I remembered the words of my guru, and I could not check my temptation of explaining it before you, because my guru Hari Mohan Jha was a very nice and very renowned.
Yes, Harimohan Jha, I have heard of him.
Yeah, I am
Yes.
his.
Yes, obviously, Guru. Now, this one, Mula Chedena and Kopi Sangyoga, that one, Avachedaka, is used in a different sense there. Avachedaka means a part. Mula Avachedana. That means copy is in different parts of the tree. Mula Avachedana, copy is not there, but some other Avachedana copy is there. So, and regarding Bhakti, there are, Ingalls has mentioned that there are 36 definitions of Bhakti, and hundreds of books have been written on Bhakti. Hundreds of books, manuscripts. And Bhakti Panchaka, 5 definitions of Bhakti, Rajan Ghosh has written in Bengali, nearly 1,000 pages, and Gangesha's definition is considered as the final definition, which is another definition of Gangesha, final definition, which avoids some of the problems. So that is itself a great thing. And I have mentioned in my paper this Bhakti. I have compared with Russell and New Zealand philosopher and Wittgenstein. And then I have mentioned Bhakti and discussed how it solves their problems.
So may I ask something?
Another paper on Bhakti. Somebody is raising any question?
Sir, I just wanted to ask, you just mentioned that the final definition of Vyapti is by Gangesh Upadhyay. So what's that final definition?
Gangesh Upadhyay, that is called conclusive definition, Siddhanta Lakshana.
Okay. So what's that, sir?
I have mentioned in my paper, another paper that is dealing with Western problems and Bhakti. 5 definitions of Bhakti and Siddhanta Lakshana of Gangesha.
Okay. So Vyapti Panchak is written by Rajan Ghosh, right?
Rajan Ghosh in Bengali.
Oh,
Bhakti
Bengali.
Panchaka, 5 definitions of Bhakti. he is discussing, and I have mentioned his view also in that paper. And ultimately, I concluded with Siddhanta Lakshana of Gangesha. Gangesha. So you can look up or read that paper also, which is included in this collection. This collection has got 30 papers. And Prosenjit mentioned that there is a need for another collection which are not included in this volume. Prosenjit Vishwas, but he is not well, so he cannot do at the moment. So I will leave it with you to do this job. You can collect my other papers and put them together.
Sir,
That
which
will-
paper we can find these things in, like this Naiyāyika on subject, predicate, and related pairs, this chapter, or maybe
now I think all the papers are with Shubham. All the papers are
please
with
ask him to
Shubham.
share with us as well.
That's
Ask
right.
Shubham to share these papers with us as
Yes.
well, because we didn't receive yet.
So you can tell him or you can ask him to send all the papers of mine.
Sir, I'm not in touch with him. Sir, please can you like command him in a way?
He is not replying to your email.
Actually, sir, I'm not in touch with him. I don't know him at all. I'm not in
From you, it
contact
would be
with him.
more impactful.
Yes, sir.
Now-
You just ask
now-
him to share it with us, all of us in the group.
That's right. All of you can, especially Subhashis, can contact him and tell him
Subhashis, sir,
to
that's your job.
send all the papers.
Nitaji, I'll give you the contact.
It's great.
Sure, sir.
Yes.
No, sir, not contact.
No.
Sure, sir.
We are sad today. Yes, but in this collection, is there? Is it there, Bapti? That paper, is it there?
Yes, that in one of my papers in this collection, I have discussed Bhakti.
Sir, I think either in the concept of relevance in Gangesha, or
That
maybe in
was-
the chapter 9, Naiyāyika on subject, predicate, and related pairs. Here we could find, I think.
Now,
For sure.
relevance,
For sure.
relevance of that one is a popular version of you can say of my papers. Relevance.
Yes, sir. We have directly read it from you.
That's right. Now, Gadadhara, I will mention this one. According to him, Gadadhara, pravitti nimitta of a term is a part of the meaning complex, and it occurs in or belongs to the referent or the reference of a term which is another member of the meaning complex. Gadadhara's definition does not include the third condition of Vardhamana Upataya. So Gadadhara does not include the third condition. That epistemic condition that when you remember the cows, then cowness appears to us. But he has accepted two conditions. That it is part of the meaning and it belongs to the referent. Part of the meaning complex and it belongs to the referent. And Raghunatha Shiromani in Naiyāyika has further simplified the definition of pravitti nimitta. He is willing to drop the first condition of pravitti nimitta from the Vardhamana's definition of the term. So that is to say, pravitti nimitta of a term need not be a part of the meaning complex of it. So he has simplified further. It does not appear when you think of the cows, and it is not part of the meaning of the word cow. Cowness is not to be included in it. So with this note, I would like to conclude today that you read, all of you, what is pravritti nimitta, which is another term for shakkata avachedaka. So with this, I will solve some of the problems of Kripke as well as Frege.
Thank you, sir. I'm stopping the recording.